Wow, hello. Today we'll discuss leaf pen nib inspiration. Jinlai was stumped by the sudden question. Timothy swiftly explained the odd idea, lifting his pant leg to show leaves growing on it. No wonder his parents considered using leaves as pen nibs. However, there are way fewer leaves on his legs than before. The audience was captivated by the sight, but his backstory is even more intriguing. Timothy was born via his infertile parents' every medical effort, ending in disappointment. After persistent advice from doctors, his wife Cindy finally gave up on having children. What a sad choice, but her husband, Jaimu, still had hope. He asked his wife to write down their hopes, interests, and talents for a child and then put them in a box. They buried the seed of hope in soil, waiting good luck. That night, as people slept soundly, a wild wind arose outside. Drizzle pattered on Jaimu's home. Suddenly, the storm raged. An inevitable mishap was unfolding. This rain flooded their seeds. It seemed like something was about to break through the soil, and thunder woke Jaimu up while the downpour halted at that strange moment. Door creaked, Jaimu shut it and returned to enjoy sweet dreams with his wife. Suddenly, his wife appeared at the bathroom door. In the blink of an eye, a dark figure appeared on the bed, leaving a big puddle of mud on the sheets, a real flood disaster. The couple turned on the lights, yet found nothing unusual in the hallway. They hurried to the living room, seeing a picture frame on the floor, covered in mud. Suddenly, eerie music filled the air, and they followed the sound to find Timothy in the room. Two adults, who had never encountered a child before, were stunned at the sight of Timothy covered in mud. They could hardly believe their eyes. Cindy quickly prepared a bath for him, while Jaimu called the police, hoping they could handle this complicated issue. But looking out the window, she lost her patience. While bathing Timothy, Cindy witnessed something shocking. Jaimu urgently wanted to take her outside, and she was eager to share what she saw. She pointed out Timothy's legs, which were inexplicably covered in clearly Timothy was not an ordinary child. She guessed what they wanted to ask, but immediately refused to answer any questions about the leaves. Jaimu sent his wife to check the backyard, where a huge hole had appeared. The box they buried a few hours ago had turned into scraps of paper. This made Cindy realize that Timothy must have grown out of the ground, or perhaps this was a gift from above. The police arrived quickly after the report. Jaimu suddenly changed his mind and falsely claimed that a phantom bear had entered the room. The police were dispatched away just like that. After tidying up the backyard, she went back to prepare dinner for Timothy, wanting him to call her sir, but Timothy thought of her as a father instead. This was a huge surprise for Cindy. The couple instinctively stepped back, thinking Timothy was joking, but the sincerity in his eyes seemed. Cindy dragged Jaimu into the room, savoring being called Mom. Jaimu said the wish paper listed only one boy, named Timothy. It sounded unbelievable, yet it was really happening to them. They reached an agreement to adopt Timothy as their child. During the discussion, Timothy had already fallen asleep on the table. Jaimu carried him to his uncle's bed, and he and his wife quietly gazed at this hard-earned life. They knew that life would certainly change in unexpected ways. Today was the family's gathering, but the couple forgot all about it due to last night's chaos. Timothy woke up early, not having slept in. She greeted the family members in place of her parents. Upon meeting Timothy for the first time, Cindy's sister looked puzzled, clearly having never seen anyone like him. At her sister Cindy and Jaimu woke to noise downstairs, realizing late that something was wrong. Timothy negotiated with his aunt. Cindy rushed in and forcefully interrupted their conversation. Jaimu quickly picked him up, pulling off his sock to put it on Timothy's leg. They couldn't let anyone discover his. Cindy reminded him not to share his story. Timothy gave her countless wide looks, making her feel helpless. Finally, she just said relatives wouldn't get it. Cindy breathed a bit easier while Jaimu introduced Timothy to everyone. They fabricated a story that Timothy was adopted from an orphanage, and Cindy's sister believed them without any. Halfway through the gathering, an uninvited mystery guest showed up, Jaimu's estranged father. Jaimu was a little surprised by the unexpected visit, but Timothy was completely at ease and walked over to greet his grandfather. Next, he ran to greet his grandma and grandpa, who were charmed by this witty kid. The words seemed to radiate warmth like sunshine, and she exhibited unparalleled enthusiasm in front of the unfamiliar relatives. All Jaimu set up a dodgeball game for the kids, and all the hit kids were out. Cindy worried that Timothy wouldn't understand the game and might not fit in with the group, so she encouraged him to run around, but he just kept spinning. The kids in the court dwindled, and Jaimu wanted to cheer Timothy on, only to face his father's stern criticism. Thick clouds slowly cleared, and the sun fought to break free from its chains, showering the world in radiant light. Timothy spread his arms and joyfully soaked up the sun. A girl rode by on a bike, dragging a branch, and her fresh charm caught Timothy's eye before he was hit by a ball. Old Jaimu stuck to the rules, determined to teach the careless kids a little lesson. After going through all the trouble and chaos, The couple grew even more worried about Timothy's secret being exposed, so they had no alternative but to seek assistance from their friends who loved plants. A friend who knew these were good leaves initially didn't want to cut them off, but upon seeing them growing on a person, they immediately changed their mind. Before cutting the leaves, Jamu gently comforted Timothy, sharing her childhood experience when her finger swelled up like a hot dog and was often ridiculed by her peers. To silence the malicious comments, she bravely had the doctor burn away the awkward growth, and now she hoped Timothy could be just as brave. Her friend cautiously took scissors and began to cut, but the result surprised everyone. The leaves were simply too hard for the sisters to slice.